Hello everyone! Today we embark on an epic journey through space, uncovering 30 fascinating facts about our universe that everyone should know. From our own cosmic backyard to the far reaches of the universe, these mind-blowing facts will change how you think about space. Buckle up for a thrilling and informative ride. Let's launch into it. Fact number 1. Space is completely silent. In the vacuum of outer space, there's no atmosphere and no air to carry sound waves, so no one can hear you scream. Space isn't entirely empty. There are a few stray atoms even in interstellar space, but it's such a good vacuum that normal sound can't propagate at all. So astronauts communicate via radio, and any explosions or collisions out there happen in eerie silence. Fact number 2. There is gravity in space, and that's why astronauts float. It's a common misconception that the International Space Station, ISS, is in zero gravity. In truth, gravity on the ISS is only about 10% weaker than on Earth's surface. Astronauts and objects float because the ISS is in constant free fall around Earth, orbiting at 28,000 kilometers per hour. It circles Earth every 90 minutes, experiencing about 16 sunrises and sunsets each day. The crew essentially falls around Earth continuously, creating a sensation of weightlessness. Fact number 3. Astronauts can actually grow taller in microgravity. Without Earth's gravity compressing the spine, astronauts can stretch upward by about 3% of their height. That means a 6-foot-tall person might gain roughly 2 inches, or 5 centimeters, while living on the space station. This temporary height boost reverses after returning to Earth's gravity, but it's a remarkable reminder of how our bodies adapt to space. Of course, extended time in microgravity also leads to muscle and bone loss, so astronauts exercise daily to stay healthy. Fact number 4. Earth's atmosphere extends far beyond the moon. You might think of the atmosphere as a thin shell around Earth, but tenuous traces of our air stretch out to about 630,000 kilometers from Earth, well past the moon's orbit. This outer region, called the geocorona, is a sparse cloud of hydrogen atoms gradually fading into space. At the moon's distance, there are only about 0.2 atoms per cubic centimeter, essentially vacuum. While extremely thin, it means the moon actually flies through Earth's outer atmosphere. Don't worry, it doesn't affect astronauts or spacecrafts. It's too diffuse, but it is astonishing how far our planet's influence reaches. Fact number 5. The moon is drifting away from Earth and taking your tides with it. Our moon moves about 3.8 centimeters, or 1.5 inches farther from Earth each year. This is due to gravitational interactions with Earth's oceans. Basically, tidal forces are transferring energy to the moon's orbit. Over millions of years, this slow spiral outward has a subtle effect. It's making Earth's rotation slow down ever so slightly. Every century, our day lengthens by a few milliseconds. Hundreds of millions of years from now, our days will be noticeably longer, and interestingly, total solar eclipses will cease. The moon will appear too small to cover the sun completely. But no need to panic. For now, we still have stunning eclipses, and the moon's leisurely escape is very, very slow. Fact number 6. A single day on Mercury is twice as long as its year. Mercury, the innermost planet, zips around the sun in just 88 Earth days. That's its year. But it spins so slowly on its axis that one full day-night cycle, sunrise to sunrise, on Mercury takes 176 Earth days, twice as long as a Mercurian year. In other words, Mercury experiences only one day roughly every 2 Mercurian years. If you stood on Mercury, you'd see a sunrise, and you wouldn't see the next sunrise for about 176 days. Talk about a long wait for daylight or a really prolonged night. Fact number 7. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, and it spins backwards. Despite being second from the sun, Venus's thick carbon dioxide atmosphere creates an extreme greenhouse effect that traps heat. Surface temperatures average around 465 degrees Celsius, or 869 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. In addition, Venus rotates in the opposite direction to most planets. The sun rises in the west on Venus, and its rotation is super slow, One Venusian day lasts 243 Earth days, which is actually longer than Venus's year of 225 days. Thanks to its dense atmosphere, Venus stays hotter than Mercury, which is closer to the Sun. Truly a runaway hothouse world. Fact number 8. Mars boasts the tallest volcano and a canyon that dwarfs Earth's. Olympus Mons on Mars is the largest volcano in the solar system, rising about 16 miles or 24 kilometers high, roughly 3 times higher than Mount Everest. Its base is so wide, over 550 kilometers across, that you wouldn't realize you were on a mountain. The slope is very gentle. Mars also has Valles Marineris, a canyon system over 4,000 kilometers or 2,500 miles long and up to 7 kilometers deep. That's as long as the entire United States and 4 times deeper than Arizona's Grand Canyon. These features hint that Mars was once geologically active and is a planet of colossal landscapes. Fact number 9. Jupiter is a giant among planets, with a storm larger than Earth. Jupiter is more massive than all the other planets combined. In fact, it's about 2.5 times the mass of all the others together. It could fit 1,300 Earths by volume inside it. And Jupiter's most famous feature, the Great Red Spot, is an enormous storm that's been raging for centuries. This reddish anticyclone is about 1.3 times the diameter of Earth, though it has been shrinking over time. The storm's winds exceed 400 kilometers per hour, and yet, from Jupiter's perspective, the Great Red Spot is just a storm in a teacup on this giant world. Jupiter's scale and power are truly mind-boggling. Fact number 10. Saturn's magnificent rings are wide but paper-thin, and Saturn could float in water. Saturn's rings span over 280,000 kilometers in diameter, about 3/4 of the distance from Earth to the Moon. Yet they are astonishingly thin, only tens of meters thick in most places. Composed of billions of ice particles, they reflect sunlight beautifully. Saturn itself is the least dense planet. Its average density is about 0.687 grams per centimeter cubed, lower than water. This means that if you had a bathtub big enough, Saturn would float. Of course, Saturn is a gas giant with no solid surface, so floating is a theoretical concept. But it highlights Saturn's lightweight composition of hydrogen and helium. With its elegant rings and low density, Saturn is truly the jewel of the solar system. Fact number 11. Uranus is tilted on its side and is the coldest planet. Unlike any other planets, Uranus spins on its side. Its axis is tilted by about 98 degrees, likely due to a massive collision long ago. This gives Uranus extreme seasons. Each pole gets 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness, as Uranus orbits the Sun. Also, despite not being the furthest from the Sun, Uranus holds the record for the coldest planetary atmosphere. Temperatures in its cloud tops can plunge to around minus 224 degrees Celsius, or around minus 371 degrees Fahrenheit. That's even colder than Neptune. Scientists suspect Uranus's unusual tilt and lack of internal heat contribute to its frigid temperatures. So basically, Uranus is an oddball, an ice giant rolling around the Sun, frigid and lopsided, with a faint set of rings and many moons. Fact number 12. Neptune has supersonic winds, the fastest in the whole solar system. Out at the edge of the solar system, blue Neptune looks serene, but it's home to wild weather. Neptune's winds whip at over 1,200 miles per hour. That's 2,000 kilometers per hour, faster than the speed of sound on Earth. These are the fastest planetary winds observed, creating colossal storms like the Great Dark Spot seen in 1989. Neptune is so far from the Sun that it takes 165 Earth years to complete one orbit. In fact, since its discovery in 1846, Neptune only recently, in 2011, finished one full circuit around the Sun. Despite the weak sunlight at that distance, Neptune's internal heat drives its extreme weather. Imagine an Earth-sized hurricane with winds several times stronger than the worst Earth storm. That's a normal windy day on Neptune. Fact number 13. Pluto has towering mountains and a heart-shaped glacier. Far from being just a dull ball of ice, dwarf planet Pluto, reclassified in 2006, turned out to be surprisingly active when NASA's New Horizons probe flew by in 2015. Pluto sports 11,000-foot-high mountains made of water ice near its equator. Mountains as tall as the Rockies, but made of frozen rock-hard ice. It also has a large, bright heart-shaped region called Tombaugh Regio, which includes a vast plain of nitrogen ice called Sputnik Planitia. This heart is about 11,000 miles, or 1,600 kilometers across, and is the largest known glacier in the solar system. Pluto's surface shows evidence of flowing ices, thin hazy atmosphere layers, and even hints of possible subsurface oceans. It's a dynamic little world at the edge of the Sun's realm, reminding us not to underestimate distant planets. Oops, I mean dwarf planets. Fact number 14. The Sun is enormous. Over 1 million Earths could fit inside it. Our Sun dominates the solar system, holding 99.86% of all the mass in the system. It's about 109 times the diameter of Earth and 333,000 times Earth's mass. It's so large that about 1.3 million Earths could fit inside the Sun's volume. Despite its grandeur though, the Sun is actually a fairly ordinary G-type star. Many stars are far larger and smaller. But it's our life-giving powerhouse, fusing 600 million tons of hydrogen each second. In doing so, it converts about 4 million tons of matter to energy every second, which radiates out as sunlight. The Sun is truly the giant furnace that makes life on Earth possible, and it'll continue to shine for about 5 billion more years. Fact number 15. All the other planets could fit between Earth and the Moon. The average distance from Earth to the Moon is about 384,000 kilometers, or 238,900 miles. Amazingly, if you line up the diameters of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, they can all snugly fit in that gap with a little room to spare. It really puts into perspective how far away our Moon is relative to planetary sizes. We often see illustrations of the Earth-Moon distance that are not to scale. In reality, the Moon is far, about 30 Earth diameters away. In that vast space, you could slide in all 7 other planets side by side. So the next time you look at the Moon, remember there's a huge chasm of space between us, big enough to contain entire worlds. Fact number 16. A teaspoon of neutron star matter would weigh billions of tons. Neutron stars are the ultra-dense cores left behind after massive stars explode as supernovae. They cram more mass than our suns into a sphere that's only around 20 kilometers or 12 miles across. The result is mind-boggling density. Just 1 teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh over 1 trillion kilograms. That's more than the weight of the entire human population on Earth. To create something that dense, you'd have to crush a Mount Everest-sized mass into a volume the size of a sugar cube. This incredible density gives neutron stars a surface gravity of around 100 billion times stronger than Earth's. In short, neutron stars are like cosmic atomic nuclei the size of cities, and they push matter to its limits. Fact number 17. Gamma-ray bursts release more energy in 10 seconds than our Sun will in its entire life. These are the most powerful explosions known. When certain massive stars collapse into black holes or neutron stars emerge, they can produce a gamma-ray burst, GRB, a brief but insanely intense flash of high-energy radiation. In those few seconds, a GRB can unleash more energy than the Sun will over billions of years. Literally, nothing else we know of comes close. Fortunately, gamma-ray bursts happen in distant galaxies and are narrowly beamed, with none known nearby. Astronomers detect them as random bursts of gamma rays coming from the sky, and then observe the fading afterglow to learn about them. GRBs are a reminder that the universe can be violent and extreme, capable of outbursts that boggle the mind. Fact number 18. One of the largest stars, UY Scuti, could fit 5 billion suns inside it. Our Sun, enormous as it is dwarfed by some red supergiant stars. UY Scuti, located about 9,500 light-years away, is often cited as one of the biggest. If UY Scuti were placed at the center of our solar system, its surface would extend beyond the orbit of Jupiter. In volume, you could pack 5 billion suns inside UY Scuti, or about 7 quadrillion Earths. It's roughly 1,700 times the sun's radius and shines about 10,000 times more brightly. Stars like UY Scuti are bloated and tenuous. They will likely explode as supernovae, spreading heavy elements into space. This star reminds us that in the cosmic scale of size, our mighty sun is medium-sized at best. There are stars so huge that they defy imagination. Fact number 19. Nearly every star in the night sky likely has at least one planet. Planets beyond our solar system. Exoplanets are incredibly common. Since the 1990s, astronomers have discovered over 5,000 exoplanets, and statistical analysis suggests that on average, each star has about one planet. That means when you look up at the night sky, almost every star you see is a sun with its own worlds. In total, there are likely hundreds of billions of planets in our Milky Way galaxy. These exoplanets come in all sizes and types. Hot Jupiters hugging their stars, Earth-sized rocks in habitable zones, water worlds, and more. We've even spotted some potential Earth-like planets. The prevalence of exoplanets means the odds are good that some of those countless worlds might host life, or at least the conditions for it. The universe is teeming with planets. Our solar system is just one among many. Fact number 20. Total solar eclipses happen thanks to an amazing cosmic coincidence. The moon is about 400 times smaller than the sun in diameter, but it's also about 400 times closer to Earth than the sun. Thus, the moon and sun appear almost exactly the same size in our sky. This is why the moon can perfectly cover the sun during a total solar eclipse, an extraordinary coincidence unique to our time. Over geological time, as the moon drifts away, it won't always match up so neatly. But for now, when the alignment is just right, the moon completely blots out the sun and day turns to twilight. We see the sun's wispy corona, temperature drops, animals get confused. It's one of nature's most awe-inspiring sights. No other planet we know has eclipses quite like ours. It's a reminder of how special our Earth-Moon-Sun geometry really is. Fact number 21. Space is surprisingly wet. There's a lot of water out there. Earth doesn't have a monopoly on water after all. Multiple moons in our solar system hide vast oceans beneath their crusts. Jupiter's moon Europa likely has twice as much water as all of Earth's oceans. And Saturn's moon Enceladus has a global subsurface ocean and even geysers spraying water into space. But even beyond our solar system, water's abundant. The largest known reservoir of water was found in space, around a quasar, a bright galaxy core powered by a black hole, 12 billion light-years away. It's a gigantic cloud of water vapor, holding 140 trillion times the water of all Earth's oceans combined. This water cloud is in the distant universe, surrounding a supermassive black hole. In other words, space has water in the most unexpected places. Ice on Mercury and the Moon, ice caps on Mars, underground oceans on moons, and colossal clouds of water in interstellar space. Where there's water, there might be life, so these findings make scientists very excited. Fact number 22. The center of our galaxy smells like rum and tastes like raspberries. In theory. In 2009, astronomers examining a giant dust cloud near the Milky Way center, called Sagittarius B2, discovered a chemical called ethyl formate, which gives raspberries their flavor and has the scent of rum. Along with that, they found a huge quantity of ethanol, ethyl alcohol, in an adjacent region, enough to serve 300,000 pints of beer per day for 1 billion years, if it were somehow brewed. Of course, this doesn't mean space is literally fragrant or potable. These molecules are spread out in a vacuum and mixed with toxic gases like carbon monoxide. But it's a fun fact. Parts of our galaxy have the ingredients that on Earth would smell and taste like raspberry-flavored rum. Cheers to the molecular complexity of space! Fact number 23. There are planets that wander alone in the dark. Not all planets orbit stars. Astronomers have found evidence of rogue planets, planets that drift through the galaxy unbound to any star. These free-floating worlds likely formed in solar systems, but were ejected by gravitational tugs or collisions. Some could be as massive as Jupiter's, while others may be only Earth-sized. They wander the galactic wilderness, frozen and dark, unless they have internal heat. It's estimated our Milky Way could host billions of these rogue planets. They're hard to detect, but a few candidates have been observed by a gravitational lensing. Their gravity momentarily magnifies background starlight. Rogue planets show that not every planet is lucky enough to have a warm star. Some are castaways, roaming the interstellar night. Fact number 24. Falling into a black hole would stretch you into spaghetti. In science fiction, people sometimes enter black holes and experience strange worlds. But the reality is much more brutal. Approaching a black hole, you'd experience extreme tidal forces, gravity pulling much harder on your feet than your head. This would stretch you out lengthwise and compress you sideways, a process whimsically called spaghettification. For a small black hole, this stretching becomes fatal well outside the event horizon, the point of no return. Near a stellar mass black hole, you'd be ripped into a strand of atoms long before you actually fell in. Paradoxically, near a supermassive black hole, the tidal forces at the horizon would be gentler, so you might cross the horizon intact, only to be shredded closer to the center. In any case, taking a trip into a black hole is a one-way journey. As the saying goes, it's not the fall that kills ya, it's the spaghettification. Fact number 25. It can rain diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Talk about precious weather! Deep inside Neptune and Uranus, it's thought that the intense pressure and temperature can break apart methane molecules, releasing carbon atoms that crystallize into diamonds. Scientists have simulated this in labs by compressing plastics with powerful lasers. The result? Diamond rain. These diamonds would form in the planet's hot, slushy interiors and slowly sink like glittering hail, perhaps forming layers or an ocean of liquid carbon. This isn't confirmed by direct probe, but it's supported by physics experiments and calculations. So the next time it rains on you, imagine on Neptune it might be raining actual diamonds. Of course, retrieving them is another matter. They're embedded deep under crushing pressure, far beyond human reach. For now. Fact number 26. The afterglow of the Big Bang still surrounds us. When you tune an old TV to static, a small fraction of that snow is actually relic radiation from the Big Bang. This is the cosmic microwave background, CMB, a faint glow of microwaves that fills the universe. It's the heat from the Big Bang, now cooled to only around 2.7 Kelvin, or minus 270 degrees Celsius over 13.8 billion years. The CMB released when the early universe, about 380,000 years old, cooled enough for atoms to form, making the universe transparent. Today, we can't see the CMB with our eyes, but instruments like the Planck satellite have mapped it in detail, revealing tiny temperature ripples that correspond to the seeds of galaxies. The CMB is everywhere, a ghostly reminder of our universe's hot beginnings, still glowing around us, and even contributing a bit of noise to radio and TV signals. Fact number 27. The coldest natural place in the universe is a nebula that's just 1 degree above absolute zero. The Boomerang Nebula, a cloud of gas 5,000 light-years away, has been measured at minus 272 degrees Celsius, only 1 degree warmer than absolute zero. This nebula is even colder than the faint 2.7 Kelvin background temperature of space itself. How? It's a dying star's ejected gas expanding so fast that it cools below the ambient temperature of the CMB, like how expanding gas from an aerosol can feel cold. The Boomerang Nebula's ultra-cold gas earned it the title of the coldest known spot in the universe. For comparison, the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth is minus 98 degrees Celsius in Antarctica, and lab experiments on Earth have achieved billionths of a degree above absolute zero. But in nature, nothing known beats the Boomerang Nebula for extreme cold. Fact number 28. The observable universe is about 93 billion light-years across and contains around 2 trillion galaxies. Our universe is unimaginably vast. The observable part, what we can see given the universe's age, is a sphere roughly 93 billion light-years in diameter. Within this cosmic volume, astronomers estimate there are around 2 trillion galaxies. Each of these galaxies has billions or trillions of stars, and many have tens of billions of planets. The scale is mind-bending. There are more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on all Earth's beaches. And beyond the observable universe? The universe might be infinitely large. We simply can't see beyond the horizon of around 46 billion light-years in any direction, because light from farther away hasn't had time to reach us. When confronted with these cosmic numbers, it's hard to do anything but marvel at how tiny Earth is in comparison, and how far we have to go in understanding it all. Fact number 29. We are literally made of stardust. Almost every atom in your body, aside from hydrogen, was forged in a star. The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood. These elements were created by nuclear fusion in stellar cores or in supernova explosions long before our solar system existed. When ancient stars died, they scattered those elements across space. Our sun and planets formed from that cosmic debris about 4.6 billion years ago. So, as the late astronomer Carl Sagan famously said, we are all made of star stuff. In a very real sense, we are a way for the universe to know itself, composed of the ashes of long-dead stars, now contemplating the stars in the night sky. It's a beautiful and profound connection. The universe gave birth to us, and through us, and any other life out there, the universe gains self-awareness. Whenever you look at your hand, remember that the atoms in it were forged in the hearts of distant stars. We are the children of the cosmos. We've journeyed from Earth's atmosphere to the edge of the observable universe and back, highlighting some truly astonishing space facts. Our universe is full of wonders, some that make you feel small, and some that fill you with awe at the grand machinery of the cosmos. If you enjoyed this cosmic adventure, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awe-inspiring content. And let us know in the comments, which fact amazed you the most? Until next time, stay curious, keep looking up at the stars, and remember that we're all connected to the cosmos in more ways than one. Safe travels through space and time.